Welcome back, Automania. This is automotive for you. The newest automotive information just for you. If you're a fan of high-performance sport bikes, BMW's new HP4 Race should be at or near the top of your must-ride list. This carbon-framed and wheeled ultra-sport bike achieves new levels of what's possible from a production superbike. Imagine about 200 horsepower in a bike weighing less than a Ninja 300. One downside, aside from its stratospheric price, is that the HP4's lucky and affluent owners won't be able to flaunt it at the local burger barn, as it lacks lights and other accoutrements that would enable it to be sold for street use. It's a track-only special limited to just 750 units worldwide. BMW says about 10% of them will make their way to our shores. Okay, now the price, $78,000. To most of us, that's a lot of cash. To others, like Ducati Superleggera owners, it's a palatable number for an E-Plus Ultra Sport bike with World Superbike levels of componentry and a carbon fiber frame. The references to the $80,000 Superleggera are analogous not only because it and the HP4 Race are both equipped with carbon frames and wheels and are similarly priced, but also because several SL owners were on hand with their bikes at the Circuit of the Americas racetrack earlier this week where we sampled the HP4 Race. A few of them had already placed deposits on the new BMW. This is the playground for wealthy moto enthusiasts. At first glance, the HP4 Race appears as merely an S1000RR with a titanium Akrapovic exhaust system and a carbon race fairing slathered with sponsorship decals. A closer look, however, reveals a mother lode of top-spec componentry that can't be found anywhere else but a World Superbike paddock, and some of them, like the carbon frame and wheels, not even allowed in WSP. Let's start with the HP4's gorgeous carbon frame. The seamless unit is produced by a resin transfer molding process based on technology BMW uses in its carbon IH Supercar chassis. Its construction isn't via traditional layers of CF that are structurally compromised by how each layer is joined. Amazingly, BMW says its carbon drive CF process can build the frame in just 1 hour with all metal inserts and pivots already molded in. The Race's wheels are fabricated by German subcontractor ThyssenKrupp using a similar process that braids the CF fibers into the wheel shape in a single piece. All this carbon, including the subframe made from traditional layered CF, along with titanium bolts and the light-weight lithium-ion battery, adds up to a claimed wet weight of 378 pounds with its aluminum tank filled with 4.6 gallons of fuel, which is a huge reduction from the S1000RR's curb weight claim of 459 pounds. And consider this, the minimum weight of a World Superbike at the end of a race, with its tank mostly empty, is 370 pounds, which means the HP4 genuinely is lighter than a World Super's race bike. For comparison's sake, Ducati says the Superleggera scales in at 364 pounds with its 4.5-gallon tank 75% full, which would translate into about 371 pounds filled. Overall, based on factory specs, the Duc is a lighter package, as it's equipped with street equipment while the BMW is not. Phew. Ducati says the SL's dry weight is 339.5 pounds, compared to BMW's dry claim of 322 pounds. But keep in mind these weights are declarations from the manufacturers and might not be directly or accurately comparable. The weight loss was clearly evident as the HP4 Race was rolled off its stand and put into my anxious hands for the first of my 2 sessions aboard this dream machine. I had earlier spun laps on a stock S1000RR to prepare for the HP4, and I had yet to gain solid confidence navigating the challenging 3.4-mile COTA circuit. My brain was in a heightened state of arousal as I considered whether the more powerful and lighter HP4 Race would be easier or scarier to ride, and my breathing got shallower when we were warned that we really shouldn't crash BMW's pricey wonder bike. It fires up with a growl from the EPA non-compliant Acra exhaust after pressing the starter button on the HP4's bespoke race bike switchgear. The seat is placed 32.7 inches from the ground, but the subframe layout allows adjustability from 32.1 to 33.3 inches, A 2D digital instrument panel provides an array of info for the rider, including RPM, lap times, and traction control and engine brake torque settings. The ECU also has launch control, wheelie control and a pit speed limiter. Additionally, the system has a mechanic mode that shows logged data such as throttle position, suspension travel, brake pressure and lean angle info. The transmission has revised internal gearing and its shifter can be oriented in either a street pattern or inverted race layout. Having a few sessions aboard an S1000RR earlier, I opted to retain the street pattern to avoid potential confusion. The bike is fitted with HP Shift Assist Pro that enables clutchless up and down shifts. Milled foot peg mounts offer a choice of 8 positions. The HP4's reduced weight makes itself evident in the run-through Coda's series of S-turns early in the lap, and the drastic increase in agility is largely by virtue of its carbon wheels. They lop off 1.7 pounds each from a forged aluminum wheel for a purported 30% weight reduction, let alone what the weight loss would be from a cast aluminum wheel. Combined with the bike's minimal mass, it has shockingly light turn-in response, with no apparent loss of stability. As delivered for our ride, the HP4 Race seemed perfectly set up for Coda's fabulous but newly bumpy track. It was a lot smoother when I tested Ducati's 1199R there in 2013. If you like to geek out on chassis geometry in the quest to slash tenths of seconds from your lap times, the Race is adjustable for steering angle, swing arm pivot height and ride height from the Öhlins TTX36 GP shock absorber, the same model fitted to the Duc SL. The HP4 is also delivered with 6 sprockets to hone in on perfect gearing for different tracks. After rounding the low-speed turn 11, nearly 0.7 mile of straightish pathway stretches out in front, an ideal testing ground for the HP4's uprated 4-cylinder motor. Inside, higher lift camshafts conspire with longer intake funnels to produce a claimed 215 horsepower at its 0.4-pound lighter crankshaft. Forged steel conrods are used to help handle the 14,500 revolutions per minute rev limit, up 300 from the RR which is factory rated at 199 horsepower. Peak ponies arrive at 13,900 revolutions per minute, 400 revs higher than the RR. Maximum twist of 88.5 pounds-to-foot is found at 10,000 revolutions per minute, this compared to the RR's 88.3 pounds-to-foot at 10,500 revolutions per minute. For reference, BMW's WSB engines crank out around 225 horsepower, according to Joseph Meichler, BMW's product office strategy and product management responsible for BMW's 4- and 6-cylinder platforms. Ducati claims 215 horsepower in street trim from the Superlegra's 1285cc V-twin, or 220 with its race exhaust fitted. Interestingly, the bikes we rode were fresh out of their crates, with no break-in miles on them. Unlike any production bike we can think of, BMW runs in the motor on a test bench and then thoroughly inspects it, adjusts its valves and swaps oil before the engines are installed in their frames, ready to reach its full potential on the racetrack right from delivery, according to BMW. One last note, the HP4 Race's engine has a 5,000-kilometer limit before it needs to be exchanged for a new motor at a cost of €17,000. But, while this is an onerous fee, one needs to consider how long it will take to rack up those 3,100 miles of track use. To those who can afford $78,000 for the bike, perhaps the charge for an engine change won't fully drain their bank account. Okay, that's all Automania. See you at the next automotive info, and thank you for watching Automotive for You.